From FandomFound.com and FandomFound Podcast Network, you're listening to the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast.
Welcome to the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast by Fandom Found. I'm Sebastian.
I'm John.
I'm Dennis.
Today we're talking about episode 9 of season 9 of The Walking Dead, entitled Adaptation. That was very hard to say. I don't know why I look at that word and I just can't fathom how it's pronounced.
I'm so proud.
Adaptation. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. How's it going, guys?
It's good, man. Long time, huh?
Long time since last week. Dennis, you surviving the Arctic winter there in Michigan?
Starting to warm up a bit, not too much, but it's no negative 45 like it was a few weeks ago.
That was so funny. The other day when I was talking to you, and I was like, you prepared for that cold weather? I heard it's supposed to get, like, real cold there. And he's like, nah, it's pretty normal. And he's like, oh, I looked at the weather, and it's supposed to get negative 45 here. What the fuck? So, I feel bad for you, Dennis. I saw some crazy shit on Reddit about what was going on there in the Midwest. So, I prayed for you, buddy. I prayed for you.
It didn't work. We still got the cold.
Sorry to hear. So, back talking tonight about The Walking Dead, which obviously we haven't been talking about for some time now. Episode 9, mid-season premiere. General thoughts. John, what did you think?
You know, it was a medium time. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think the most controversial moments are that it wasn't terribly controversial. Not a lot happened. I enjoyed my time with Negan for probably the first time ever? Maybe ever. Maybe ever for that extended amount of time.
Wow. See, I kind of had the opposite feeling. I thought Negan was the weakest part of this episode.
Get ready.
Dennis, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was pretty poor all around, but Negan, out of everything, was the most enjoyable thing about this episode.
Wow.
Bam!
Well, you know, I looked at it from the perspective of it was, you know, it wasn't a 90-minute episode, but it was halfway between a 60-minute and 90-minute episode, so a 75-minute episode. And I thought the Negan's parts, which they just drug out way too long, they could have been cut down significantly. And then they probably could have gotten this into a 60-minute episode, in my opinion. Like, I get what they were trying to do with Negan, and I think it was important. I just don't think it was as necessary as some of the long, drawn-out scenes that they had him in. Just me?
Just you, Seb. It's two against one.
Yeah. Well, I will say, on first watch, I didn't really enjoy it. On second watch, I was like, okay, I get what they're doing here. See, you know, the fact that it is so long and drawn out, I'm like, this really like drives the point home that he is completely alone and he doesn't have anyone on his side anymore. You know, so I guess it like works in that way. But I'm just trying to see some action, man. And Negan looking for a leather jacket is not the action I'm looking for.
He wasn't looking for a leather. He just found it by chance.
How convenient.
And then they gave it away on The Talking Dead. But,
they did?
Yeah, they did. And it fit that dude perfectly. Whoever won that thing, it was like he was made to wear that jacket. He was a handsome man in that jacket.
I didn't actually watch The Talking Dead this week, but I saw there was some like good little tidbits there, like Daryl reveals about the scars or whatever, so we could talk about that.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, even Greg Nicotero, who directed the episode, had I think some insightful things to say about the Negan stuff. For a change, right, shocked face, for a change. That, you know, to really hammer home that this man is, he hasn't seen a walker in 6 years.
Oh yeah,
he hasn't done shit but walk from one end of that 10 by 10 to another for 6 years. This isn't a man who's in his physical prime anymore, who has even understood what's in the world now. So it's the reason why we spend so much time with him is we're watching Negan get reacclimated to kind of how things are now, how the world is since he's left it. essentially.
But I mean, has it like really changed that much?
Yeah, well, one, we don't have that many bullets anymore. There's no gasoline anywhere, so there are no cars really. The communities don't talk to one another at all. There's really no, if we're looking in the States, there's no commerce between them really anymore. Everybody's pretty much fending for themselves. He didn't see the sanctuary in its state. When he left, it was still, a thriving community.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you saying reacclimate, you mean to like everything? I thought you meant like reacclimating to handling walkers or whatever.
No, it's everything. And I loved the maybe getting a little ahead of things, but where they put him in that clearing, and Nicotero points this out in the show. That is the same clearing that he bludgeons a couple of our loved ones to death. Yeah,
when I was watching, I was like, oh, that looks like a very familiar field, and I thought it was pretty symbolic that he ends up vomiting and on his knees in a very similar way that some of our beloved characters ended up in that particular situation. So it did come full circle, indeed. I will agree with that. It just felt a little bit long.
It wouldn't have felt shorter if he was speaking either. I think the only way that this right. I think the only way that this works is that it's JDM silent, kind of discovering what is now.
Yeah, no, I felt it.
So that's what the vomiting was about?
What?
Him reminiscing of Glenn and Abraham?
I think I think the vomiting was a result of the drinking of the the river water or whatever the hell he was drinking.
Yeah,
I thought the same.
I think it was just like supposed to be symbolic that he was vomiting in the same place, but because literally he was drinking that water, and I was like,
no, Negan, no, don't drink the pond water.
That's a good way to die of dysentery on the Oregon Trail.
And then he shat himself to death.
Definitely don't want to do that. So jumping back to the beginning of the episode, I thought the intro, the way they did the previously on with kind of Michonne doing the voiceover, I thought that was an interesting approach and not something they had done previously. But I thought it was a bit of a weird decision because she was narrating in a way that didn't necessarily agree with some of her character motivations from the first half of the season. And I thought that was strange for her to be doing that. Specifically, her comments about the community being splintered and now they have to reunite to fight a common enemy. And I thought that was just a strange creative choice, seeing as we hadn't necessarily gotten to that point in the show yet. This is kind of the episode that happens. So it's kind of like strangely reminding us of something that we didn't actually see yet.
Yeah, it's almost like that was Deny reading it, not Deny as Michonne. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is just kind of like a strange directorial choice to have her narrate that scene.
Right.
But I guess they're not going to have the, like, previously on AMC's The Walking Dead. I guess they're not going to have that guy narrate that whole thing.
No, because he's dead.
No, they have a new guy.
I'm like, they can't. That dude's dead.
They have a new guy now, but he doesn't sound as good as the old guy. Really, it's kind of weird that they wouldn't. When that guy died and they started using the new guy, I thought that was kind of like a strange choice because it's like, why?
It's not like he was like saying previously on The Walking Dead every week.
Well, it's not like he was saying something new every week.
I mean, goddamn, AMC, just keep paying his dead wife. Cut some checks. Let her be comfortable. I
mean, they could have easily just used the same recording from the same guy all the time. He never said anything different. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of fucked.
Happy Hanukkah. Previously on The Walking Dead.
Oh, gosh. The Hanukkah special. Can't wait for that. Should be fun. They should do a Christmas special. Remember the Christmas special we came up with for the show?
It was, AMC, were you listening?
Yeah.
Shit's gold.
It was good. So talking about ratings real quick, I took a peek since we're recording on a Tuesday, since it was Courtney's birthday yesterday. We actually got ratings out for this episode, and actually pretty well in line with last season. They didn't have any significant drop off over the mid-season break, which is pretty shocking when you think about the number of people that said they were going to rage quit the show after Rick died.
It's almost like the people who were commenting weren't watching to begin with.
Whenever you look at an article, you always have at least the 10 comments that are like, the show's still on. Like, shut up. You know the damn show's still on. But I thought that says a lot, the fact that they were able to maintain their viewership speaks to the fact that Angela is doing a really good job as showrunner and maintaining people's interest even with Rick not being on the show anymore.
Yeah, and what an interesting world they're living in where they're basically telling Angela Kang, hey, just don't lose anyone. Okay, just hold serve, baby, and we're gonna be fine. Okay, just ride this thing out to the season finale. Like, they're just kind of like, we're not measuring it in audience grown right now. We're measuring in how much we can retain.
Audience retain, yeah, over time, yeah. I mean, it's impressive. I saw a Reddit post that was like, has the show been saved? And I was just like, I guess. I mean, it when they're not trying to stretch these episodes out and it continues to maintain and pique my interest every week, then I will take it for sure. But, with Michonne now, Dennis, I don't know if you listened to any of the episode that John and I recorded where we talked about some of the news, but did you hear the news that Denai Michonne is going to be leaving in season 10?
Yeah, I was all for all of the cast leaving right away. I always thought The Walking Dead would be better if it was a continuously changing cast.
Yeah, I mean, that we've talked about that in the past, like doing an anthology style series where the like an American Horror Story where the cast kind of changes on a well, their cast doesn't really change on a season by season basis. It's just the same people playing different characters, but the story changes at least. So I think it would be cool. But I mean, you feel that way even with the fact that the characters have been this way for 9 seasons now.
Yeah, well, after dealing with this for 9 seasons, I'm ready to lose some of these characters.
Yeah, I think, I don't disagree. I think there's plenty of story to be told, and I don't know if we necessarily need to continue to see these same characters that we've been seeing, just kind of doing the same things over and over and over again, but we'll see. We will see what happens. But knowing that they were able to maintain, I don't feel as scared for them, and they're probably feeling a lot better about it too in the long run. All right, where do you guys want to start here this evening? You want to talk about Negan, since we kind of already talked about Negan a little bit?
Sure, let's knock it out.
All right, well, since you were the one who enjoyed it the most, well, actually you and Dennis both enjoyed it the most, why don't you, what got your attention so much there with good old Negan?
I mean, I think there's two things, and I think we texted about this a little bit, but for not the first time, but I always like, in general on the show, when there's actual evidence of characters having interior lives, that there are thoughts going on in their head, and for one of the handful of times here, I can actually see a thought process and an emotional reaction, and a response to an emotional connection with the world around him in Negan, in JDM's performance that was, not there. It was very much comical, like caricature, cartoony before, and now 6 years, right? Now 6 years of incarceration has
turned him into a real person.
I mean, kind of, yeah. He actually has, emotional breadth, and his connection with Judith, on screen, they have real palpable, they have great chemistry on screen. And it's so fun to watch those two interact. Especially he seems just so unmanned by her at every given turn. She just seems to get him at a very at a very core level.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, they played this up really nicely in the comics where kind of Carl and Negan start to develop a relationship while Negan is in prison. And they played with that a little bit in the series as well, where she's kind of sitting outside doing her homework and they're chit-chatting and getting to know each other on a different level. I agree with you. I like the way the two characters play off of each other. I think that's really nice. I was a little bit worried about this girl's acting talent when she was first introduced last season, but I would say even in this episode, she's already kind of grown leaps and bounds in terms of like what she can do and how she could deliver lines and be cute, but not be like lame, for lack of a better term, and kind of work with who we would consider the baddest character of this show is probably the baddest, the meanest villain of all time on this show. So I like it. There's probably more adventures to come with those two for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Kaylee Fleming, just her performance in general, and I think, you know, Nicotero echoed this on The Talking Dead, that it's not just like line delivery with her. She's very good with her business. Just, you know, engaging she's holding the gun and it's too damn big for her to begin with. It's, you know, but she holds it like she's used to holding it. And like, this is how I have to fucking hold it, guys. All right. It's a Colt Python. But she waves it at Negan like, get down from there, you dipshit. What are you doing hanging up there? And, you know, and then she, fires the gun at him on the motorcycle and she, you know, she's holding the gun on him and then she just kind of shrugs like, kind of walks away. It's fucking hilarious.
That gun should have blown her back like that was like a weird kind of creative decision with the camera like zooming in on her like super fast. Like, I don't know what the reason for that was. That was a little bit goofy to me. But yeah, seeing this girl shoot this giant ass gun, I'm just like, what?
How is she not like in the concrete right now?
I do not know.
How crazy is it that we've been trying to kill this baby off for years, and now it's turned out to be like one of our, at least for me, one of my favorite characters on this show.
Well, we should just
She's
know
a liability.
Better. We should just know better at this point. Like, basically anything I've complained about over the years has ended up like working out in the show's favor, and I've kind of come around on it. So Carol, I mean, look at Carol. How much bitching did we do about Carol? And now she's arguably one of everyone's favorite characters on the show. So much has changed. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But look, they'll have her around for years because she won't be 18 for at least another 8 years. And they could still pay her as a child, so they don't have to worry about that shit at all.
We just need you for 3 more seasons. We're going to give you like 2 with an option. All right? Yeah, buy that house.
Buy that house, exactly.
Buy that house.
Start that. Get accepted to college. Go to college. That's cool.
It's fine. Nah, dude, it's fine.
Poor Carl.
Dennis, what'd you think of the Negan this time around?
Yeah, you know, I have to agree with your points. It's interesting to see how he comes out of the jail cell and reverts back into like this actual human being.
Yeah.
But yeah, same. Going off with how he acts with Judith is almost precious.
Right?
Yeah, it is a little cute for my liking. What?
Wow.
The decision to escape during the early morning hours in the daylight, I thought was a strange decision, and I'm not sure if there was like a reason behind that, because it's not like he, you know, we see him going around and like picking vegetables. I'm guessing kind of like preparing a bag to leave. I mean, did it take him that long? That it was like daylight out by the time he had to leave? It just seems kind of strange, right?
You know, I was trying to find the right tomato.
I guess, but it's like one of those things where it makes me feel like they just did it because like they needed to film that scene, and you know, the sun rose and they didn't have any other decision and they weren't going to push the filming off, and they're like, fuck it, we'll film it. No prisoner would make their escape in the middle of the day.
Ironically, it's probably child labor law around Kaylee Fleming and like when they could film her.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a valid point. Maybe she can't work past a certain hour before a certain hour.
I mean, hell, anybody who's worked in like fast food knows if they're like 14 or 15, like you can't work them past like sundown.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, I never really thought about that. So, all right, then I guess I'll let this one slide then.
Sorry, it's the law.
It's the law. Oh, you know what? Funny you say that, because I also thought to myself when he goes into their house and he ends up in Judith's room, but she's not actually in the bed. Has she never been in a nighttime scene before?
I don't. Right, wait, I'm drawing a blank. I don't think so.
I mean, she hasn't actually been in the show that long, so
Yeah.
I can't recall any nighttime scenes that she's been in, so that would be a very interesting thing to have to work around if that's actually the case. But I did happen to notice, like, when he breaks into the house, she's not in the bed, and it appears that it's the middle of the night, so I found it kind of strange that she wasn't in her bed.
All right. I would find it odd that Judith is like sleeping over somewhere, because like she'd be the weird, like she insists on sleeping with the gun. I can't do it.
Yeah, I wasn't really buying that she was sleeping in mommy's bed either.
No.
Maybe she was having a sleepover with RJ or whatever.
Anyway, where was the other kid?
I don't know. He's not.
See?
No, she did film. Well, see, it was an indoor scene, so I don't know. Because remember when Magna shows up last season and drops off that knife, and she's sitting there at the top of the steps, like that was supposed to be nighttime, but who's to say it was actually filmed during the night? We don't know that.
Right.
So, I don't know. Interesting. So I saw someone write an article, I forget who exactly, basically said this was Negan's equivalent of like a WWE babyface turn, where this was his whole episode going from heel to babyface. If you're a wrestling fan, you get the reference. Do you think they were able to accomplish this in a single episode to where moving forward Negan is kind of redeemed in the eyes of the viewers and can now be, quote, a good guy?
Nope.
Really? You're not buying it?
Of course not. And I mean, from what we know comic book wise,
actually, I didn't get this far, so I don't know enough about it.
I don't I don't think that redeemed, no. And you are redeemed by those around you. You don't decide to be redeemed. Mm-hmm. And no one around him will redeem him.
I mean, it's tough because, he spent however many years in a cell, and you would like to think, or at least that the purpose of prison is to reform people in that way to where they come out and they could be a contributing member of society or contribute in a positive way. I mean, I think this whole episode did a good job of at least showing. It's hard to say because, he ends up coming back to Alexandria because he realizes that he has nothing left. Now, if he had returned to the sanctuary and saw that there was still 10, 15, 20 holdouts from the Negan era, would he, pick up where he left off and basically be like, Daddy's home, and just, get right back into it? Or would he still try to go back to Alexandria and reconnect, realize, people are the connect? No. Okay, you're not buying it at all.
I'm not buying it at all. So, yeah, he spent 6 years in the clink. It wasn't like it was bank fraud. You know what I mean? It wasn't a rounding error. He wasn't embezzling. He's, in effect, a war criminal.
Yeah, but they're all murdering people, man. It's hard for me to come down on Negan and be like, you're the bad guy here, when they're all doing the same thing.
He lost. That makes him the bad guy. He lost. And it's a matter of perspective there. If he wins, they're the bad guys.
It's a pretty big drastic leap too between Negan and what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. What do you mean? No, it's not at all.
At least in our group.
I don't think it is at all.
I never saw Rick grind someone's face up with a iron torch or iron.
Iron.
Well, you haven't seen people like Rick's group, maybe not Rick. I'm sure if I could remember all 9 seasons, I could pull out a single example of where Rick just straight up murdered someone. I recall being in a bar in season 2 and then straight up murdering 2 people.
Well, they were about to draw on him. In that situation, they were drawing.
Okay.
It's the only reason he's not dead is the one guy missed. He did. There is a couple reprehensible moments when they had that escaped cop in Atlanta, and he's like, stop, and he basically breaks his back with his car.
Yes.
That's a naughty. That's you don't want to do that. But at the same time, there's plenty of moments where he showed restraint, like when Beth gets her head stabbed in, or shot or whatever. Shot. He could have easily just kill them all, but they pulled out of there, recognized the value of life. Like, okay, some of us might not live. He ate that dude's throat.
For good reason.
For good reason. One guy was going to try and rape Carl, so you gotta chew a dude's throat out if they're going to try and rape your boy.
Yeah. All right. I mean, look. Yeah. If we're looking at the perspective of who's a better person, Rick or Negan, obviously it's Rick. But all I'm saying is they're not all squeaky clean.
No, but that's a false equivalency. They don't come out in the wash together.
You're right. Fine. Whatever, put him back in jail. Well, so he needs the opportunity to redeem himself, and he can't redeem himself if he's in prison.
Yeah, but while you're outside, you're an escaped convict, essentially.
True, but how do you redeem yourself in a cell?
That is redemption in a way. Well, when you're dead, then you'll be redeemed.
Well, that's depressing.
It kind of is, but you killed, their family with a baseball bat. You stabbed. You stabbed one of them to death right in front of everybody. You poisoned a bunch of them. You kidnapped another one. Fed him dog food sandwiches.
Same time, he's always been an asshole to everyone in the jail cell besides Maggie.
True. He did have that one moment of weakness when he was crying like a little baby, but. Yeah, no, you're right. He's still been an asshole, but he's so sweet to Judith. I was at least expecting multiple situations where he's gonna try to take the gun from her or do something, and he never did. He just kind of let her go.
Yeah, these are exceptions, not the rule.
You're right. Fine, whatever.
No, Negan is lawful evil. For looking for an alignment. He's got a code, but you don't trust him.
So is Negan going back in the cell as soon as he gets back to Alexandria?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, do you think the game plan is to put him back in the cell?
I think that's Judith's game plan. I don't think that's Negan's game plan.
No, I don't think so either. We'll figure it out. Oh, man. All right, well, that's enough Negan for me. There's enough Negan for this half season, so we could just move on from there. Another kind of area that I wanted to discuss, especially because it's pretty relevant to the last half of the season, Michonne's kind of personality shift over this last episode, going from a really bitter, shut-in kind of recluse-style person to seeming like she's allowing and accepting people to come into her life. So she makes the comment to Aaron about accepting Magna's group as part of their own. Which at this point I'd really hope so, because seeing as Magna's group straight up saved them in the cemetery. And then even down to kind of making amends with Daryl about him not being able to find Rick's body, and her basically saying it's cool. Don't worry about it. Because we all know she's had a chip on her shoulder since this time jump was introduced, and we still don't fully know why that is. But are they suggesting that most of it just boils down to the whole loss of Rick?
I think they are. I think they're hanging their head on that lack of closure. I think.
Yes.
Right? They are. I think that's what they're doing. But then there's the matter of the scars and what that is between them, and this horrific line apparently the two of them crossed that then that goes unspoken between them now.
Okay, so you watch The Talking Dead, and I don't know if it's really considered a spoiler for the next couple of episodes. Nothing explicit was stated, but I think it helps us understand this context of this conversation a little bit more between her and Daryl. What was said on Talking Dead about that?
Norman Reedus he was dancing. I think he realized that. You get like 25% of the way through your sentence, you're like, shit. And he's just saying like this is it's something it's between those scars are between them.
Like a secret.
Yes, it's a secret that details or explains something. In his words, I believe he said horrific that they did that never gets brought up again, and could be. He seemed to intimate it is in relation to Rick's sort of disappearance and the aftermath of it.
Okay.
Seemed to intimate that, but not 100%. But it is a line that they crossed and that they have kind of marked themselves to like never forget it.
Oh, okay. So they inflicted these wounds upon themselves?
Led to believe that.
That's kind of like a strange place to put it.
Yeah, which would mean that one put one on the other. You know what I mean? One is Daryl's hand on Michonne, one is Michonne's hand on Daryl.
Like a blood brother pact.
Like, and we're never gonna speak of this again.
See, that's kind of interesting. I mean, especially when we take like the first half of the season into account, where Michonne has this super huge chip on her shoulder, and you assume that these exes are directly tied into why she is anti anybody else other than her community of Alexandria. And I mean, we even get more of this conversation between Michonne and Aaron at the end of the episode, where he basically says, "You were right. We should just kind of remain inside, stay protected, take care of, what we have and each other, and that's it." And you always assume these exes directly correlated to that feeling, but it doesn't seem like that's the case, because it doesn't actually seem, based off of what Norman Reedus said on The Talking Dead, these exes are a secret between Daryl and Michonne, so she has never used whatever caused this as an excuse for the way she's feeling, at least publicly.
Not publicly, no.
So, I mean, I think most of her bad attitude really just boils down to the death of Rick and not being able to find his body, especially due to, I think she said it at least twice in this episode, about the fact that they were able to bring Jesus back to the hilltop. Like, this will help people get over this. And I think that ties kind of closely to her not being able to get over the death of Rick, because she never had that body to bury.
Right.
So
these exes have nothing to do with Maggie then, right?
No, apparently not.
Yeah, as a side note, are we getting Maggie back this season? Was that what I heard?
No.
Or was it season 10?
Possibly. So that was the intent. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Whiskey Cavalier is probably going to be a hit.
Oh my God, wait. Before you... Did you see that those motherfuckers bought a commercial? Did you get that Whiskey Cavalier commercial?
Savage motherfuckers, so good.
How savage is that? Like, I straight up see Lauren's face pop up on a damn Whiskey Cavalier on AMC or on ABC commercial during The Walking Dead. I was like, damn, that's badass.
It's so great. Lauren Cohan looking super great.
Yeah, she looks awesome.
Super great.
Sorry. Go on.
But it looks like it's going to be, so they're actually airing the pilot of Whiskey Cavalier after the Oscars. And it's something that they've never done with a scripted show before, because it's such prime viewing time, apparently. It may be a foregone conclusion that this thing gets a second season very early into its first season run, and if that's the case, bye-bye. Lauren Cohan is not coming. She just won't be able to do that. She just won't be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. I'm not going to lie. That show actually looks better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
For, like, network television, seems kind of fun. Seems like something my grandma would be into.
I'm excited. Watch a couple of special agents romp around the world. A little will they, won't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope Lauren comes back, especially if Michonne is denies stepping away from the series in 10. I feel like, Norman Reedus has been doing a good job, getting lines this season so far, but I don't know if he can necessarily carry the show, and we don't have those big names and those big characters anymore to lead, and I think that's kind of a problem.
I agree. We were really on the cusp of having like a really great female-led show.
Yeah.
And damn, she had the Marvel money. Denai don't need us anymore.
I know. But she's not even like, look, I don't follow superhero shit at all, so pardon my ignorance, but I mean, like, she's an important character in like Black Panther, but she's not like is she a main character in those movies?
I mean, she's a co-star. I think in the Black Panther movie, she's going to be in the next event. I think she is in the next Avengers movie. And she wants to branch out. I mean, she's I believe a playwright in her own regard. Yep. An activist. She has multiple irons and a lot of fires.
Yeah. She still needs the iron and the zombie fire, man.
And I'm sure she'll be able to come back anytime she wants, or you can see her in the movies.
Yeah, but that's when it starts getting like cheesy as hell, when like she's like, "Oh, I'll come back for an episode," and they had to like conveniently write her into an episode. Like, come on. Like, in a way, I mean, I don't think they're going to kill her off, especially if they plan to have her in the movies. That would probably require her to still be alive when she exits the show, which is a bit annoying because it just feels like there's never any closure for a lot of these characters that we followed for such a long period of time. And the uncertainty of not knowing whether they actually will ever appear again or will ever appear in the movie, it kind of sucks. Like, I feel like you're not doing the character justice. At least with Rick, we know he's going to be in the movies, at least one movie, but then with someone like a Maggie or a Michonne, they may or may not be, and it just feels kind of not fair to the viewers, but I know most of what The Walking Dead has nothing to do with the viewers, because they don't really care about us at all. It's very sad. Unloved. We're like in an abusive relationship. Basically is what it boils down to.
We should be damn grateful for the opportunity, is what it is, Seb. That's what it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just take the lashings and say thank you.
May I have another?
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about Alden and Luke, who are now going on their own little mission here so basically it seems like Michonne, Magna, that whole crew who went out looking for Eugene in the first half of the season hasn't returned yet. So now Alden and Luke leave to go and look for them, which is convenient. They kind of have some friendly banter, nothing that I thought was particularly interesting in any way. But they end up finding, I think, a herd at some point, and I don't know if that was just like a plot device to get them in the direction they needed to go to get captured at the end of the episode, or if that herd is going to serve some purpose later in the half season. I assume it's probably going to, but what did you guys think? I thought that was really great. Honestly, everything with the Whisperers I've been really pleased with so far. I think they add a really nice creepy element to the show that it's been lacking, that just the traditional walkers do not. When you just see a walker standing there, like, not doing anything, that shit's freaky as fuck.
No, listen, they are creepy, kind of omnipresent. Mm-hmm. They're just always, like, at the periphery of like your kind of sense awareness, or like, you know what I mean, of the space. They're like, something's, and they're brutally smart the way that they took those arrows and basically used them to. Or the last thing that Alpha says, trail ends here. Like, I led you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We've been watching you this entire fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Negan could have been introduced in the same way, like I was just thinking like how cartoonish like Negan's introduction was, but it's in a similar sort of cunning fashion. But the difference here is this land's so deliciously evil.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, it's like the simplest introduction. Also,
yeah, but exactly. It doesn't need detail and trappings. Like, I led you here with arrows from your friend, who we collected. We grabbed them, and I was smart enough to use them against you. And you fucking fell for it, and here's my sawed-off.
And I don't need an 8-minute monologue and a fade to black to scare you. I am thoroughly impressed by even the makeup work that they've done. I think transferring the Whisperers from the comic page to the show, this has been like the most true to form adaptation episode name that they've had to date, and that I really appreciate. Even like some of the cool walkers they really had in this episode, like the burnt out walker that attacks Negan, the one with his face that gets peeled off, the one that's fucking attached to the other one, I thought was really cool too. So they've really been pulling out all the stops here in terms of just making the show look cool and doing different things and paying homage to the comics appropriately. But I swore Luke was dead for sure. I thought he was going to roll up, especially with what's his name, Dan Fogler.
Yeah.
Fogler? Yeah, he's like relatively big actor. I kind of assumed that he would get killed off pretty quickly. I thought he was just going to walk up to Alpha and be like, I'll take care of this one, and then she was just going to fucking Jesus him.
Like, sorry, Dan, it's time to go film Fantastic Beasts 3. You have to go. Blow!
I'm glad he didn't die yet. We don't know what actually happens to either of them, but I'm going to assume not good things. I would like to clarify one thing, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, is the whole Enid and Alden relationship. Apparently, there's a lot of drama occurring online about the relationship between these two characters because most people are perceiving that Enid is still a child. And that's not actually the case.
Right.
At least in the timeline.
Not timeline, not actual age of the actors themselves.
Yes. Kaylin Nacon is 19 years old in real life. So
right.
Don't worry about
the
that.
actor who plays
Don't
Alden,
stress.
I believe, is like 23. Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought he was way older than that.
Callum McAuliffe? Yeah, I believe he's 23.
I feel like we had this exact conversation
We did.
last season.
We did, because I was like, nope, I am Googling this shit.
He seems like he has such like an old soul that I would think he's at least like in his 30s. I'm getting to the age now also, like I'm going to celebrate my 30th birthday in April, and now I'm like watching all these shows and I'm like, holy shit, all these people are younger than me, and it's really weird.
Welcome, Seb. Welcome to the real world.
It freaks me out, man. I'm just not used to it. And then also, like, you know, on the last podcast I said, you know, I'm having a baby in April. Like, I still feel like I'm like 16 and pregnant. I'm almost 30 damn years old, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm having a kid. I'm 16 and pregnant. Just like my perceived age is so much lower than my actual age. It's kind of weird.
By the way, happy birthday, Callum McAuliffe. Your birthday was January 24th. He is now 24.
Damn, that's crazy. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Life is really going by fast.
But they are both of age individuals, both in real and fictitious life.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think the primary issue is people are associating Caitlyn with her age prior to the time jump.
Yep.
Which would put her in teenage years. But if you add a 6-year time jump to that makes her more than legal. So everyone just needs to calm the fuck down. Okay. Calm it down. it works. And I think, but like, because the same way I perceive him as being older, I bet you a lot of the viewers also perceive him being older, because he kind of gives off like this dad vibe. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like a little bit of one, and it's tough to, because his character was in an adult, he was perceived as an adult in that 6 year prior, and she wasn't.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So now she's moved up, he hasn't changed, and they don't process the difference.
Yeah, because she hasn't really visually moved up either.
Like, guys, I know like AMC's a piece of shit, but like this wouldn't clear anything if this was a problem. They're not looking for this kind of controversy.
Yes, no, not at all. Though they already did that in Fear the Walking Dead with Alicia, remember?
she turned 18 real fast.
She actually was underage in the show, and then they tried to like backtrack and retcon some shit and try to act like she wasn't. I was like, okay, I'll see you. She was an old senior. Like, no, she wasn't.
I got held back. I'm real stupid. Very pretty, but very stupid.
Held back 3 years.
I was addicted to meth.
All right. I think that's kind of
is that
it? Yeah, that's kind of it there. Unless you want to talk about first impressions of Alpha that we didn't already talk about.
No, Dennis?
I mean, what more can we say about it?
Was she everything you hoped for and more, Dennis?
I mean, as soon as she takes off the mask, I'll know.
Yeah. No, I agree. But she has the shaved head, and I'm pretty sure that actress rocks a shaved head on like a daily basis anyway. I'm kind of excited for that, especially someone who's willing to commit to the role and shave their head for it. So that's kind of cool.
I am more excited about this Ryan Hurst guy than Alpha.
He's looking creepy as fuck, too.
Yes. Dude, we only got like little bits of him in the teasers too, so
yeah,
I'm ready for that episode to come.
There's a lot of good moments to come for the Whisper, so I'm hoping they are able to do them all justice. John, did you see this Reddit link I posted here down at the bottom?
I'm almost positive I haven't. It's
bottom of. Give that a click.
Let's just.
Then you can let me know if you want to discuss that based on. Someone on Reddit had some choice feelings about Alpha's appearance in the show versus her comic book counterpart and the actress that plays the actress or the actress that plays the character.
No, I don't really. Upon reflection, I don't really have. Samantha Morton is pretty accomplished in her own right. She's got 55 credits, to her name, on series like since the late 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah, she's been around.
She's been around. Like most people remember her as Agatha from Minority Report.
Mm-hmm.
Also shaved head, I believe, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The lady has the chops, and really it's not about your gaze, man. She doesn't have to be like physically appealing to you. Like, who gives a shit? I don't know. I think you need to like kind of check that, like put that aside. This is really about this woman is smart. She's a survivor. She has adapted to keep her people safe, and it's no different a story than a Rick, than a Negan, or an Ezekiel, whoever. It's all about safety and what the world is now. And we haven't seen it in large scale, but damn, her like 10 seconds hit like a fucking hammer, right? All she had like four words. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay,
yeah.
Right.
Oh, she's in Fantastic Beasts too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Oh, let's see what Lydia has kind of written the check a little bit for, like, you don't want to mess with my mother, so let's see if the script and the performance bear that out and judge the actor on the performance, not on how she's dressed.
Looks. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I mean, look, this isn't the first time that The Walking Dead has taken creative liberties in terms of hiring an actor that doesn't look exactly like their comic book counterpart. So whether you thought she should be taller and skinnier doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like Negan, and this is coming from a person who got on Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I said he is too frail to be a Negan based off of his comic book counterpart. So, I get wanting to maintain, relatively being close to what the comic is like in terms of the character's image or whatever. But, the only thing I did not like in The Walking Dead was really the governor and the drastic changes they made to his character. Like, I feel like they took him so far out of like what he was in the comics that it wasn't even remotely the same character at that point. But Samantha Morton is not off from what I would envision as an alpha character. And same, Ryan Hurst looks like he's going to be an awesome fucking beta too. So should be pretty good. Dennis, are we allowed to talk about your friend or your brother's friend?
Yeah, what about him?
I don't know. Someone who's going to be in this show.
Oh, he's already been in the show. He plays a few different Whisperers.
That's cool. You say it so nonchalantly.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually talked to him I haven't talked to my brother about it in a while, but I'll have to find out which one he is again and then point him out to you guys.
Yeah, let us know. That'll be fun.
As far as I know, he doesn't have any active like talking roles, and he like ends up getting killed a bunch, but he plays like a bunch of different Whisperers.
That's fun, though. Yeah, let us know. Maybe you'll get some juicy rumors for the website. Just kidding. I'm sure he wants to keep his job as an actor.
Right, and then he never works again, and it's our fault.
Yeah, right. Oops. All right, so that's kind of it there on the alpha front. Oh, what did you think of the accent, John? Or did you not get enough of it yet to truly appreciate it?
I heard a bit of it. I heard a bit of it in previews, and that may be kind of our one element here that is going to take me out of that performance. Is
I'm alpha.
Yeah, I need to hear it a bit more to kind of let it kind of hit my ear palate.
Yeah.
But yeah, on first blush here, that might be a wrong choice.
I think they are gonna be doing some flashbacks with Lydia and Alpha, from my understanding. So I hope they at least place them in a correct geography for that accent, so it's a little bit easier to buy later down the line. Because, like I said, it's a little straight, a little country, a little rock and roll. I hope they figure it out, because I'm not sure how intimidating that accent is.
I hope hopefully it's not a restriction on the kind of the dialect of the actor, because Samantha Morton is literally from Nottingham. So.
Oh. No.
Yeah. Right. So like there's that. What I would hope is that it seems to British actors in general seem to just hit that southern accent so easily. It's the most like lilting thing America has to offer, kind of out there. It's the most sing-songy thing we can do. The rest of it's just very we sound terrible as like a species.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it's easier for them to do, but like this one is just a little too on the nose for what a foreigner would think a southern accent sounds like.
Yeah. It's like me doing a super like Cockney British accent.
Right. It's not like it would be us going like, "Oh, Nigel, leave him alone," and it's terrible. It sounds awful.
I'm Alpha. It'll be great. No. All right, we'll stop now before we get.
You will.
Before we get the hate mail from the UK.
Sorry, everyone in England. I'm sorry.
This is what we're saying not to do.
Right. This is, we don't recommend any of this.
All right. Let's see. What else we got to talk about here? Just back at the hilltop, a lot of dramas obviously happening. They end up they kind of execute this strategic plan on the bridge to capture one of the Whisperers, which I thought was kind of a fun scene. And then they return Jesus' body to the hilltop. I don't know about you guys. and I don't know if it's just because I've seen Titanic recently, but I swear when Jesus is, and rewatch the scene if you don't remember what I'm talking about, but the song from Titanic, My Heart Will Go On, I swear to God they were playing their own version of this song. And even Courtney agreed with me, so that has to count for something.
You're wrong, and here's why.
Oh, shit. All right.
If they were to do that,
they
would have to pay God knows how much goddamn money. The entire advertising run is instantly not profitable.
What if they made slight modifications to it? Because I swear to you, I swear, I'm gonna go back tonight and I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna send it to you, and then you can.
Right.
Is Jess a fan of Titanic? She's got to be a fan of Titanic.
Who knows?
Every girl is a fan of Titanic.
Listen. I saw Titanic in a theater on a date night. That's how old I am.
Oh, I saw it with my mom.
I touched boob after Titanic. All right?
Did you?
There you go. That's how old I am, ladies and gentlemen.
Destruction porn.
That's
really.
It's just seeing Leonardo DiCaprio die in the North Atlantic just really did it for me. I don't know what that's about, but you come at Celine Dion, you're gonna get the horns, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't know if the AMC has enough lawyers for that.
Right, well, I'm telling you, man. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to send it to you.
I'm excited. I'm ready for this.
All right, so like I said, they bring Jesus' body back and Lydia, and lock her ass up in a cage. Then we just have a couple of scenes of Lydia being interrogated by Tara, Daryl, and Michonne. I thought one of the fun parts of the whole Tara is now the leader of the hilltop because this is what Jesus would want, whatever. The hilarity of this situation is only furthered by the fact that Michonne then talks to Daryl, and even Michonne knows that Tara is not capable of running a community on her own, and she wants Daryl to take charge of the hilltop and basically lead and or assist Tara in the leadership capabilities. So I thought that was hilarious that the show wouldn't even allow Tara to have her own leadership position.
Nope. Michonne grabbed his ass the second they were inside, man, you know this bitch ain't gonna fuck this up. Okay, just be around. Okay, when the shit hits, just be here.
Yes, yeah.
All right?
There's no way Tara... I mean, that's why I thought it was last half season when we were speculating, they kept referring to she is leading Hilltop now, and we were like, I mean, I guess it could be Tara, I don't know, but we even found that laughable, and it still kind of continues to be laughable at this point in time, because she's not someone I take remotely serious. And I don't, based off of Tammy's interactions with Tara in this episode, it doesn't seem like they take her too seriously either.
I love Brett Butler's performance there, because she was able to sell the subtext of hey, we don't really think you're up for this, in a very listen, we're gonna look to you because that's what we voted, that's what Jesus would have wanted, what have you. We support you, but we're gonna expect this and this. And the unspoken part of that is, and we're probably going to go take it when you're not ready to give it to us.
Yep. And she's like, I'll do it, I swear. And they're like, all right.
Okay, sharpen the knives.
So, like I said, Lydia gets interrogated by Daryl and Michonne a bit. Kind of like an interesting play of tactics. It seemed like people were saying that they thought Daryl was acting with all of this and then basically using Henry as a way to get intel from Lydia. So being excessively harsh to Lydia, knowing that Henry was there, and that would kind of good cop, bad cop routine in a way, but he didn't seem to let Henry in on this plan. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with this assessment. I think Daryl was straight up willing to kill Lydia and basically feed her to the community.
Well, confirmed on Talking Dead, that was the plan.
To kill her?
No, to bait Henry into establishing rapport with her.
No way.
Yep, that's what it was. Sitting there right with the director.
Daryl does not seem like the kind of guy to be that smart to do something like that. That's total like, oh my god, this worked outside moment.
No, because he interrogated, pushed him, told him to stay away from her, then sat right outside her cell and listened.
Yeah, but I think that...
Yeah, that's an accurate description of events.
No. I mean, it's not like I don't disagree, like, that's what happened. It seems like very convenient that would all work.
It's almost like somebody wrote it.
I'm just saying there's a lot of assumptions happening there on the part of Daryl that all that would go according to plan.
I feel like it was almost like coincidence that he just happened to be, well, not coincidence, but I feel like it was a happy accident for Daryl to be outside that window when he was talking to her.
I can only tell you that the writers, the actor involved, and the director all confirmed that that's what happened.
All right, well,
that's all I can do.
How many times did they say what they meant to do and it didn't actually come across that? I mean, did that come across like that to you on the screen before you saw The Talking Dead? Because it's not what came across.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I respectfully disagree.
Your respectful disagreement is noted.
And
by the way,
wrong. Is it
too early to kill off Henry?
No.
My gosh, can we just like keep him in the cell and forget he's in there and just keep on moving with this show?
Why? You don't like Henry?
Oh god, the kid is just not a good actor.
Oh really?
I don't know, something about him I can't get behind. Yeah, no.
Oh, I mean, I think he's got better delivery than Riggs.
That's what I think too. Honestly, I think he's actually quite a bit more talented than Chandler Riggs. I don't love the idea that he's basically stealing his comic book storyline, but I'm not mad at it. At least they found someone. His character is like intentionally irritating. He's a teenager. Like teenagers are irritating.
Yes.
So, they're kind of whiny. And like this is the part where it's so they're whiny and easily manipulated. So I guess that kind of does speak to Daryl's plan there, is that he
ding ding, the kid's 17.
All right, I didn't think about it. So I mean, I guess it makes sense. I think it's a pretty wild assumption on Daryl's part, who, from my opinion, probably has not had that many interactions with teenager. He's definitely not parenting. So for him to make this assumption that this is all just going to work out kind of seems like a little teensy bit of a stretch to me. But I would much rather have seen ruthless Daryl. What?
Listen. Hold on. A moment for Daryl Dixon, if you please. Here, the man what has he done for most of his life? He's lived outside and done what? He tracks and traps
animals.
He tracks and traps.
Animals.
Same principle. This is about bait. It's about bait and springing a trap. That's it. He uses it with humans as well. He did it with the plan with the whisperers at the bridge. It's like, I'll prove to you you're human. Thunk! Right in the leg. And trap, opportunity, trigger, bait. You know.
All right.
Get the thing.
No,
right?
You're right. God damn it.
I know. Daryl was also a 17-year-old boy at one point in his life, allegedly. He may have come out like 33, smoking 2 packs a day, but he could at least identify with what it's like to be a stupid teenager.
No, I mean, you're right. And I mean, I would probably do the exact same thing that Henry did too in that situation, which would be,
I think we all would,
befriend the young, pretty girl.
Right? A remotely attractive girl is within earshot of me? Oh my god, I have to do something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so good plan on the part of Daryl, whatever. Using Henry's dumbass self, not having any loyalty. Like, you straight up know this chick murdered Jesus, and you already have your dick out. Like, fuck you.
He didn't. This tiny girl did not murder Jesus.
She was in the group that murdered Jesus.
I get. Was she?
I mean, she said her mom was in the cemetery there. I don't know. I mean, she was clearly lying about a lot of different things, so I don't know the details surrounding all of this. But, she was part of the group, so she's no better than Negan.
Well, and she might not be, because there's a scene that got previewed on The Talking Dead where Daryl hauls Henry the hell out of that cell for talking a little bit too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, what the hell? You know, and clearly she's
Shut up.
She starts asking pointed questions about where the other communities are.
God, Henry.
And there goes Henry like, well, I'm from the kingdom. It's about a mile away. And Daryl's like, motherfucker. And it's just like, hauls his ass out of the cell.
See, and this is why Daryl should have just let Henry in on the plan. Like, they were literally sitting outside together watching Jesus being buried. Like, he could have easily communicated this plan. Like, hey, dude, I need you. I'm going to play bad cop, and I'm going to threaten to kill her, basically. And then you're going to be nice to her and get a bunch of information out of her. But under no circumstance do you give her any information about our communities. This is where there is the flaw in his plan.
Agreed. You are not wrong there.
So you're using his stupidity against him, but his stupidity is also hurting you in the long run also. So I don't know. It's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's to blast radius.
Yeah. One last thing I liked from the whole hilltop scene was the zoomed in view of them all banging the proverbial nail in the coffin, which I don't know if this was like an intentional kind of jab at. I can't help but feel it was just like a jab on the part of the writers and maybe the directors saying like, look, we could survive after the death of Rick. Like, you all said, oh, this would be a nail in our coffin, because like it was crazy that there's like just watching a scene for like 4 minutes of people nailing nails into a coffin. I thought it was kind of just like a fun little touch. I don't know if it was actually supposed to represent anything, but I don't know, something I noticed. I also have it more like anger towards this show than most people. So other than that, I think the only thing we didn't talk about was Rosita. Nothing super exciting with her. The other like kind of heavy-handed thing with the show and the way they write is like just like saying, not showing, and you know, her basically saying I'm pregnant. Like, we all gathered. We gathered by you throwing up. We gathered by you saying we were having our quote fun before Gabriel. You don't have to be like, I'm pregnant. I always feel like the show does a really good job of like, you know, being a good show, and then like they always have to sneak like one thing in there that makes it like blatantly obvious for maybe the viewer who's not paying attention as much, which kind of annoys me.
I mean, part of that is like writers just kind of reveling in things they were never able to say. Like 40 years ago or whatever it was, like on the Dick Van Dyke Show, they couldn't say the word pregnant.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the words you couldn't say on television.
Why?
You know, it brings up, well, how did that baby get there?
God.
There's only one way, Seb. There's only one way.
The stork.
It's true. A large bird. Brings children. That's right. That's what I learned.
That's what I learned too.
That's, you know, you think impure thoughts and then a stork shows up.
Except I went to a birthing class this weekend and I learned so much. So much.
Don't tell me a goddamn thing. Say no more.
Well, I went to Catholic school for 12 years and we didn't learn jack shit about the human body anatomy. Courtney is surprised every single day about the shit I don't know about anything.
I don't know what's down there.
You'd be
idea.
You'd be very surprised. Very surprised.
I'm expected. I'm gonna stay around the shoulders. That's kind of where, or like in the waiting room. I want to do this like 40s style, where like the nurse just kind of taps me in like once all the show's over.
After the baby's cleaned off and
That's right.
The wife is napping.
Right. Presented. Here is your son, sir. And then I hand him to an indifferent British nanny, and then I'm off to work.
Oh, yes, you're in for a rude awakening. But, I mean, just, you should see the amount. There was probably 20 people, obviously 10 males, 10 females. Guess who was asking?
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
Guess who was asking all the questions?
The dudes?
Yeah. I don't think a female asked a single question. It was just all the men asking questions.
So when can I be done?
When can I have sex again?
Is it wrong to wait? Is it 2 days? Is it 3?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, man. You gotta let her heal.
It's crazy. Crazy.
It's normal.
No, I know. It's normal.
Just you wait, Sam.
Beauty of life. No.
Then I threw up.
It's gonna be great. You're all gonna hear a crying baby in the background of all these podcasts. It's gonna be awesome. If I could even get an hour away a week.
You're gonna have one eye open. You're gonna be delirious. You're like, I didn't take no. I don't know. Where? What?
I can barely string a sentence together on a normal day. I can only imagine what's gonna happen when I'm getting 4 hours of sleep. It's gonna be great.
4. It's gonna be 4's gonna be like your oasis, your dreamland.
Great. Don't tell me that.
You're gonna get 1 REM cycle every 72 hours.
I really cherish my sleep.
You're gonna be legally insane.
Great. All right. Let's do
Good stuff.
Episode ratings here. I don't think we really need to talk about ratings for the last episodes. It doesn't really matter. So, John, you want to give your rating for episode 9, Adaptation?
Oh, man. Let me think here. Like I said, it was kind of a medium time. I liked a lot of the stuff that happened here, but there wasn't really, man, I think on the strength of Alpha's entrance alone, it's a 6.874.
6.874. Dennis?
No, I'm not going to give it anywhere near that high. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Oh my God, Dennis.
Woo!
You dirty dog.
Well, most of these episodes get better, so this gives me some leeway.
That's true, except... Yeah, no, you've been pretty high on all of these. Honestly, I thought the episode was fine. I thought it was probably the weakest out of all season so far. I don't know if you guys agree with that. But so if that's the case, I think my lowest rating so far this season was a 7.7. So I'll put that, a 7.1. So I'll put that around a 7.028. Still good. Not as good. But it is what it is. Okay. Sorry, did you have something to say?
Nope.
Just sucking the old teeth. All right. That's it. We don't have any feedback for this week. If you want to send feedback into the show, you could do so twdepodcast@gmail.com. You could send us a tweet at FandomFound on Twitter, or you can comment on all of our Facebook threads that we post for every new episode, facebook.com/FandomFound. That'll get your feedback on the show. And that's it. If you like the podcast and you want to subscribe and you're listening for the first time, go to fandomfound.com/subscribe. And that's where you can find all of the subscription options for the podcast. Subscribe for 100% free. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, really anywhere you want to listen, we are there. Just search the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast or Fandom Found. You should find us. And that is it. Next week, the episode is called... I had it open and now I don't. So bear with me here, friends. Does anyone actually know what this episode is called?
Someone help me up here. I'm dying.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Omega. The episode is called Omega. Which, knowing that there's characters called Alpha, Beta, Omega. Well, there's no character called Omega, but I think we might get a little bit more history on the Whispers. It says a new arrival at the Hilltop opens up about the leader of a group of mask-wearing savages. A search party sets out on a daring mission to find 2 missing friends. So that's going to be the recurring theme this season. It's just going to be one search party goes out, one group goes out, they go missing. Then a search party goes out and finds that group, but then another search party goes out to find that group. That group comes back, and then another search party goes out to find that group. So that's going to be the recurring theme this season, I suppose. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
Please Please, Ange, don't do it. Don't fall into the trap.
Yeah, she's been pretty solid. 10 episodes. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You could do it, Ange. I believe in you. Do it for the fans.
When does Fear come back on?
Ugh. Too soon.
Is this the first times with who? Oh man, what's his name? We hate him. So unmemorable.
Morgan?
No, the guy who's running it. He's like the showrunner now for it.
You mean Goldberg and Chambliss LLC?
No, who was before Angela King?
Oh, Gimple?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Gimple.
He's not really running Fear.
Oh, I thought you said he was like the dudes that are running it now are kind of taking cues.
He got
from
him. They take cues from him, but he got promoted, so now he oversees everything. So he can shit all over everything.
Yeah, and shit he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you guys got Dwight this season, or coming up season.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's gonna be good. No, it's gonna be terrible, Dennis. Terrible. We're not even gonna do it. No, we're gonna do it, but we don't.
For like 5
We're
episodes.
not gonna want to do it.
It gets a half a season, and then we'll have a meeting.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All right, well that's it. You guys have anything else, or are we gonna wrap this shit up?
It's, Dennis, what do you think?
Nope, I got nothing.
I'm good too. I think it's all put a bow on this bitch.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, I'm Sebastian.
I'm John.
And I'm Dennis.
See ya.